Welcome to Lake TV's Community Spotlight show, brought to you by the great folks at COMC, Central Ozarks Medical Center, where your health is their mission. And we have got a big celebrity guest with us this week. It is Richelle Christensen Grosvenor. How are you?
Very good.
Good. And you're a big celebrity because you just won a big political race. Some say you are the most powerful person in Camden County because you're the Camden County Prosecutor, right?
I would agree with that statement.
Wow.
Yes.
How about that? So with power comes responsibility, right? So
That's right.
How do you feel about that? Is it a scary thing? Is it a emboldening thing? What is that like?
So thankfully, I have been doing criminal law for 23 years now.
You don't even look 23 years old, man.
And the blessing to that is that my experience has really shown me how weighty, I kind of talked about this during the campaign, this job, just like you said, comes with a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
And so I understand the weight of what I'm doing or getting ready to do. It actually doesn't start till January 1st.
Yeah.
But just really kind of understand the responsibility involved. Unfortunately, we're in a day and age where people don't really trust our criminal justice system, which is a shame. And I truly believe that I have the ability in Camden County to really make a difference in that perspective of people.
Wow, that's fantastic. Okay, so let's start out from the beginning. Are you a lake girl? Did you grow up here or did you move in here? How did you get to the lake?
Moved here, to go way back, my dad, born and raised in Montana.
Okay.
My mom, born and raised in Missouri. He joined the Army and was stationed at Fort Leonard Wood. That's how the Montana boy met the Missouri girl.
Okay, good.
And then they got married and moved back to Montana. And then they had my brother, and then they adopted me. And when it came time to go to college, I knew I wanted to be a criminal law attorney. And actually, Missouri has one of the best criminal justice programs in the country at the time in Warrensburg. So that's how I ended up in Missouri. And then I went to law school here and passed the bar. And then you realize you don't want to take the bar anywhere else.
I'm stuck. I'm here. Yeah,
So here
absolutely.
I am.
So, but you've been here most of your life, it sounds
True.
like.
Yeah. All the
Okay.
way from, I think, 19. I moved here. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, and you mentioned you were adopted.
Yes, that's right.
So, were you a baby adoption? Were you older? What was that like?
So I think I kind of explained to you that my dad is one of my heroes, right?
Yeah.
So he was in the Army, and when they went back to Montana, he was in a workplace accident, and he lost one of his legs. So my dad was an amputee for 50 plus years of his life. Then he back then it was an artificial leg that didn't even have a knee that bended, but my parents had my brother. Then after that, he was diagnosed with cancer.
Oh, man.
And the cancer treatment made it so that he could not have children anymore. And so they immediately signed up to adopt a baby. And they kind of got fast-tracked because my birth mother was one of 7 children.
Wow.
And she wanted, they can say, and she wanted me to not be an only child. And since my parents already had my brother, then they were able to adopt me.
Oh, wow. What a story.
It's great.
Did you know this all pretty much from the beginning, or
Sure.
did you find that out later? Or?
No, it was always part of my story.
Yeah.
I don't think they ever wanted me to find out later and wonder, why didn't you tell me?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
But they were very much like, she loved you so much. She wanted you to have a family. They knew she was a young person. She was in high school when she got pregnant. But it was just kind of the family that I grew up in, just to go back to my dad for a little bit. He was in chronic pain for his whole life.
Yeah.
But he never, ever thought of himself as disabled. He never complained. I never heard him say, why me, or why is this happening to me? He was just such an inspiration about life does happen, but you get to choose what you do with that.
Wow.
And he was just such an amazing man. The only disappointment I have is that he passed away during the election, so he didn't get to see me win.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that was just recent then?
Recent that he passed away, yeah.
Okay.
But I actually stood up and spoke at his memorial service.
Yeah.
And I said, I know that he was up there with God. You know, him and Jesus were coordinating how to get this thing done.
You had some extra campaign workers,
exactly,
right? Yeah.
Right.
Well, your dad sounds like just an amazing guy. So he loses a leg in a workplace incident, had cancer,
Yeah.
had to deal with all of that, and yet was still upbeat and positive?
Yeah, and I mean, he was just that kind of man. He would have sold toothpicks on the street corner to take care of his family.
Yeah.
You know, my mom was stay at home, and he was, I mean, just an inspiration now in terms of, I'm never going to be a victim, right? Meaning, yes, like I said, life happens, but you get to choose what you do with it.
Yeah.
And he chose to just make the most of every day.
So now you have mentioned God. So I'm guessing you're a person of faith.
Yes.
Do you think that God played a part in your winding up with that family, being adopted by that family?
Oh, I mean, there's no question, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
So your dad is kind of your hero.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Always. And I'm sure you know, as you get older, you start to see things that when you're young, it's just how it is.
Yeah.
But not everybody had a dad like I
Yeah.
do or did, you know.
Well, and it's an interesting, it almost sounds like your motto of life happens, you know, and then it's how you deal with it after that, basically, right?
For sure. Yeah.
So you're the Camden County Prosecutor.
Elect.
Yes. What does the Camden County Prosecutor do? What is the job? Are you just like in court all day, you know, judging people, or what do you do as the prosecutor?
So generally speaking, when law enforcement go and write a ticket or make an arrest, they refer that to the Camden County Prosecutor's Office, and then it's the prosecutor's job to review that information, decide if charges are going to be filed. If they do decide to file the charges, then to go ahead and file the charges, and then just to basically work the case until it's resolved in some manner.
Right, okay. We have heard stories of some nefarious things happening in the prosecutor's office, the sheriff's office, this, that, the next thing. You hear that almost everywhere sometimes. Seems like we've heard that in Camden County recently. Do you have the power to go back and look at some of that possible nefarious stuff and maybe try to make it right?
Yes.
You do? Okay, cool. So then, but at this point, not having taken over the job, you don't really know what's there yet.
That's right, and I'm not making any accusations.
Right.
But I am committed to making sure that if I find something, just like you said, to do my best to correct it and to make people aware of potentially what has been happening. You know, it's important that we start fresh when I'm in there, but like you said, to make sure that if there's any cleanup that needs to be done, that is taken seriously as well.
Absolutely, okay.
Yeah.
So we're talking with Camden County Prosecutor. It is Richelle Christensen Grosvenor.
Yes.
And I'm gonna have to ask you about that first name, Richelle. That is very unique there. So we'll do that here on the Community Spotlight Show right after this. At COMC, your health is our mission. Central Ozarks Medical Center is growing in our community with a new dental location to serve you in Eldon and a new location in Loring. COMC also makes your children a priority with a mobile dental unit serving schools in rural areas where access can be a challenge. COMC also offers OBGYN, sports medicine, pediatric, and behavioral health care. Get more info on how COMC can help you at centralozarks.org. COMC, where your health is our mission. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, Lake TV's got it all. We think it's hot stuff when things cool down. We spring into action when things start warming up. Of course, summer is one big, huge shootout on Lake TV. And we fall in love all over again when autumn rolls around. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, Lake TV's got it all. Welcome back to Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show, brought to you by the great folks at Central Ozarks Medical Center. We're talking with Richelle Christensen Grosvenor, who is the Camden County Prosecutor-elect.
Thank you.
And that means you haven't started yet. So what if there's something going on now, that's not you.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. Thank you for clarifying.
Okay, so Richelle, my wife's name is Michelle, all right. Where does Richelle come from?
My dad.
Yeah.
His name is Richard.
Okay. Oh, so you're named after your dad, kind of.
So if you can imagine what it's like to be parents, and they get a phone call and they say, "We have a little girl for your consideration." What are you going to say? No, right?
No, we don't want that.
But you get a phone call and you're about to have a baby.
Yeah.
Most people have 9 or 10 months, right?
To prepare. Yeah.
And they got the phone call and they were discussing names and had not picked anything. And my mom says she woke up in the middle of the night. I know what it's going to be. And Richelle it is.
Oh, wow. How special is that?
Yeah.
That is so cool. Okay, so how long have you been a judge?
So, as I said, I've been in criminal law for 23 years.
Yeah.
I have been a municipal judge for probably about 5 years.
5, okay.
But I was also the Camden County Associate Circuit Judge for about a year back in 2010 when our judge passed away, and I was appointed to replace him.
Okay, so you've been a lawyer for a long time, 23 years. The judge thing much newer, 5, 6 years,
Sure.
something like that. Do you enjoy being a judge?
It's different. Like I talked during the campaign in high school, I had one of those light bulb moments watching Law and Order. I knew that I wanted to be a prosecutor. Never really sat around and thought I really want to be a judge. I kind of describe judging as like watching ping pong all day.
Yeah.
I'm certainly, my personality is more of the litigator, kind of get in and get in the middle of stuff.
Right.
What's kind of interesting is that, I don't know if you know my history as far as judgeshipping, but in 2020, I ran for circuit judge.
Okay.
God told me to run for circuit judge.
Wow.
And I said, no, I don't want to be a judge. I certainly don't want to be a circuit judge. No. And when God puts something on your heart and you cannot get out from under it.
It's hard to run from that, isn't it?
It took months and months. I finally went forward at church and said to my pastor, you have to pray for me because God's calling me to do something that I do not want to do.
Wow.
Yeah. So I do this whole election, same thing as this time. My husband and I, we don't take a dime from anybody. We pay for the whole thing on our own. My daughter's actually out campaigning with me a lot. She's in high school and just kind of enjoys it. And we meet all these people and God is making this way. And I'm thinking, God, are you really, is this really going to happen?
Yeah.
If it is, I'll do it to the best of my ability. And then I lost.
Really?
And then I said, okay, God.
So did you question God? Is it maybe I heard wrong or something like that?
I knew I hadn't heard wrong, but I figured that the story wasn't over.
Right.
And my husband was always saying, there was a purpose in this, we just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
And then, of course, this year, all those people that I had met in 2020 were people who were my base of support for running for prosecutor.
Wow, and it all worked out. So sometimes what looks like a loss is actually a victory.
If you can really grasp that all things do work together for good,
right,
for those who love God and are called according to His purpose, right? Yeah. It just wasn't His purpose back in 2020, right, but He used it in 2022.
Kind of saw the long run.
Yes.
I believe that's Romans 8:28 too, isn't it?
And I do certainly get short-sighted sometimes.
Oh yeah, don't we all though?
And losing publicly is not something that is fun. Mm-hmm. But yeah, He really did come back and made it work in 2022.
How about that? Okay. So it is Richelle Christensen Grosvenor, who is the Camden County Prosecutor elect.
Yes.
And it's been so amazing getting to know you. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule and getting ready to be the most powerful person in Camden County to come down and talk with us. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you for having me, and I really appreciate the voters' trust in me, and I'm going to honor that. God is in control of this, and He's who I answer to.
Amen.
So it's going to be a great thing.
Richelle Christensen Grosvenor, thank you so much for joining us on Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show.